All right. All right. We're we're
All
back.
right.
Yeah, we
Well,
are. I've got
welcome
something
back.
special this time though. You ready
Okay,
for it? Yeah, there it is. Your brand new sound
there
effect.
we go. Anyway, welcome back to another edition of Live Feed Read. I'm Paul Reed, your host, along with Jason Crawford, the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson. He's
Yeah,
appearing live on TV, in the computer, or otherwise. In Tallahassee, I'm in Miranda, Florida, where it is a sunny 70 degrees, hottest it's been all week. But anyway, I digress. Uh, Two things. The topic today is to smoke the leaf or not to smoke the leaf. That is the question. So, literally hot off the presses Tuesday, the
yeah,
Fifth Circuit Court of Appeal, which we had talked about. There's now six of them.
yeah.
The Fifth Circuit is like Daytona North up to Jacksonville. So it's the
Okay.
what is that? The northeast corner of the
East.
state is the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeal. All right. So police officer, I'm just jump right into it. Police officer
Okay.
pulls over a Lyft vehicle, a Lyft.
Okay. One
Got a
of the
passenger in the back seat,
yeah.
and the Lyft driver speeding, and I think it had a tail light out. So the officer, asked some questions, and I don't know, he just got a funny feeling. So he
Okay.
brings the canine police officer dog to do a walk around to see if he alerts for marijuana.
Yeah, yeah. Old
All
sniffy
right.
sniffer.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so the dog walks around the car, drug sniffing dog.
Falls over.
Yeah. Well, he alerted. He alerted for the
Okay.
and so the officer then searches the passenger and finds not only marijuana, he found cocaine. Let's see, what did he find? Marijuana, cocaine, heroin. He found all kinds of drugs.
Oh
Oh,
my
wait,
word.
marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, and methamphetamine.
What?
So the guy was a walking pharmacy.
My
All
word.
right. So this was in 2020,
Is
just to
the
show you.
dog okay?
Now, mind you, this was in 2020, and here we are, January of 2025. How long this took
Okay.
to get to where we are on Tuesday. Today's Friday, so that's
Mm.
what 4 years and some change.
Yeah,
So
wow.
the wheels of justice certainly grind
Oiled
slowly.
with epoxy.
Right.
Yeah.
So the offender, the gentleman that was arrested for the drugs, files a motion to suppress the evidence at the trial court level. And his argument
Okay.
was, hey, this was an illegal search because that dog that's trained to sniff marijuana cannot tell whether that's legal marijuana or illegal marijuana.
Okay. Ooh. Okay.
And therefore,
Okay.
because this could have been legal marijuana, that did not give probable cause for the officer to search me.
Interesting.
Heck of an
And that
argument.
was the passenger who
Yeah,
said
the
that.
passenger.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
that's the argument.
Okay.
Um, the judge says no, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, thank you. That's not going to work, and I'm going to sentence you, find you guilty, sentence you to 68 months in state prison, and
68.
but you reserve your right to appeal. And
Sure.
thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay.
All right. So the guy appeals.
Okay.
Well, and this is the fifth district court of appeals, and what happened before this Tuesday? There was another case in August of last year that they said where a police officer cannot search a car based on the smell of marijuana
Hmm.
alone without a warrant, because again, same question.
Hmm.
Is Could it be legal marijuana or is it illegal marijuana? The officer has no way of knowing, and therefore the officer has to get a warrant,
Hmm.
from a judge to say, look, I believe there's marijuana, illegal marijuana in this car. And if they can convince
Hmm.
the judge can issue a warrant, right?
That's interesting. So that was this year.
That was August of 24, that decision.
Okay. Yeah. August. I meant.
Now, mind you,
Yeah.
what a
Okay.
pain in the arse,
Yeah.
ARSE.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
That's
you're
right.
sitting there on the side of the road, you pull somebody over, you obviously everybody can you can smell the marijuana 5 cars back.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
But you don't also obviously no one could know whether it's legal marijuana or illegal
Yeah.
marijuana,
Okay.
right? Now they can ask some questions, but a savvy individual will say, look, I have the right to remain silent.
That's
I'm
right.
not going
Yeah.
to answer any of your questions.
Yeah.
Thank you. Am I free to leave? If the officer says
Sure.
no, now you've been seized under the Fourth Amendment and you have the right to a lawyer and this, that, and the
That's
other.
right.
So
Yeah.
the chance of the cop sitting there on the side of the road, calling up a judge in the middle of the night, getting the judge to get out of bed, listen to your story, da da da, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So is this treated, question of, just for clarification, is this not treated like DUI, where they see an open alcohol container? You're not even
Correct.
supposed to
Yeah,
have an open
it is
alcohol
not.
container in the car.
No. Well,
Okay.
now mind you, yes. If you saw a bag of marijuana on the chair beside you,
Hmm.
that's different.
Interesting.
That's
Okay.
plain view.
Okay. Right. Right. Right.
That's like, if
Okay.
you're a convicted felon and you have the gun sitting on the seat beside you, and the officer runs your plates or your name,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not supposed to have a gun, and they're just sitting beside you. You're
Yeah.
getting arrested.
So that onerous
But if
wafting
it,
odor
just
is not
because you're a
considered plain
convicted
view. Yeah.
felon,
Yeah.
the officer
Okay.
can't say, "Hey, I want to search your car to see if you have a gun inside of it." You
Right. Okay.
follow me? He
Yes.
has to
Yeah.
have probable cause to think you may have a gun
Yeah.
inside. But if it's sitting on the dashboard, or so that's different.
And
Let's
that
just
pungent smell isn't a part of plain view. It has to be visual.
correct. That's
Okay.
the issue.
Okay.
That
Okay.
you can't tell the
Huh.
difference between legal marijuana and illegal marijuana.
Yeah, you can't sniff the difference.
Right.
Imagine
Well,
that.
so go from August of last year till
Yep.
Tuesday, and that's
Okay.
basically what the court said. Look, they said
Now you have a case.
an alert by a dog trained a drug sniffing dog is no longer sufficient probable cause to search the individual or the car. So they
Okay.
moved from the officer smelling the pot is not enough, and
Yeah.
so the dog alerting to marijuana is also not enough.
But is that retroactive?
Well, it only affects this. No,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, to be this
Yeah.
cat. No,
Right.
you know what? That's a good question, and I don't do criminal law, and whether those
Mm.
people that have been arrested for this type of search, um, I don't know. My guess is I don't think so, because you would have to have made that argument back then,
Okay. Right.
or
Yeah.
you basically waive it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a criminal lawyer, but my thoughts is you would have had to bring that argument back up after 2016, when Florida allowed medical marijuana.
Interesting.
All
Okay.
right. So the Fifth District says that was an illegal search. The drug should have been suppressed and so forth. But and what they say is, now this is what's kind of silly. Here's their solution: an alert by a dog trained not to alert to cannabis, or to alert to cannabis differently than it alerts to other drugs, can still be its own supply for probable cause. So now you've got
Hey.
to train a dog not to alert to pot and only to methamphetamines, heroin, so forth and so on.
Okay.
So what do you got? A whole bus full of dogs. Oh, we got the marijuana dog, get over here. We got the cocaine dog, get over here. We got the heroin dog, get over here. I don't know what the answer to that
These
is.
dogs are like, bro, my job is so good.
Yeah. So and that's
Oh
where
my
Jim
word.
shift. That's a leftist view. That is
Mm.
not a Republican conservative outcome that those individuals would have wanted. But your
Interesting.
your constitutional rights to be free from search and seizure, you really don't want to take them for granted, uh, even if it means sometimes it works out against law enforcement.
Mm.
It's just,
Mm.
it's a slippery slope, but you know,
Yeah, I think, is it
you'd
Benjamin
rather
Franklin?
err on the side of your constitutional rights to be free from search and seizure then well, that's just my opinion. Yeah, others may not agree,
Yeah.
but that's just my opinion. Now, so the guy loses at the trial court, Jason,
Yeah.
sentenced to 68 months in prison. He wins at the appellate court. What happens next?
Hmm. I don't know.
Well, he's either set free
Yeah.
or he's not set free.
Right. But if he won, are you saying he won?
Oh yeah, he
Or
won.
you ask?
No,
Okay.
it says while the appeals court agreed with Ford
Okay.
and on the suppression issue. So they granted his motion. He won the appeal that it was the drug should have been suppressed at the trial
Okay.
court level,
Okay.
meaning, basically the drugs are gone. There's no drugs.
Right.
So what
Yep.
happened?
We have to all pretend
What
like that
happened
didn't
to
happen.
old 68 month prison sentence for Mr. Ford?
It got expunged,
Well,
wiped out.
expunged, no. I mean, did he get out of jail or did he stay in jail,
He
basically?
got out, I believe.
Okay, well, here's the deal. While the
Okay.
appeals, this is the kick in the crotch, so to speak,
Okay.
old Mr. Ford. Because he's sitting at the
Okay.
table and he's all happy. Won. Pop.
Oh no.
Appeals court agreed with Ford on the suppression issue. It upheld his conviction because of what is known as the good faith exception.
Oh wait, what?
There's a good faith exception. It said that the exception applied because the circuit court, the trial judge, followed what was legal precedent at the time. Meaning at the time, then it was
Oh.
legal for the dog to sniff the car, hit on the car, and pull out the guy, arrest him, and search him.
Oh
So,
man.
Mr. Ford, talk about, there's 7 seconds left in the football game. You just score a touchdown. You got to kick off. You're up by
Flag on the
one,
play.
and the guy runs the ball all the way back for a 110
Yeah,
yard touchdown, and you lose.
that's true. Yeah, flag on the play.
I mean, everybody's seen that where you're
Yeah.
winning, and then Tom Brady comes down
To
in
the
14
last
seconds and you
second.
lose the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened to old Mr. Ford.
Oh man.
Uh, so here's the judge that wrote the opinion. This is pretty funny.
Okay.
It is the undifferentiated alert behavior of a properly trained police dog, drug sniffing dog, sufficient to supply the sole probable cause for a warrantless search of a car. Basically, it says, in the immortal words of this judge, is that sniff up to snuff?
He said that?
Yeah, the judge says, is that sniff up to snuff?
Oh man.
Going forward, that dog won't hunt.
Man, what a TikTok soundbite that would be.
That's in the opinion. So these judges, God bless them, have a sense of humor. In other words,
man.
that sniffs up the stuff, that dog won't hunt.
But the dog won't hunt.
I just thought it was interesting. So
that is a fascinating.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating case. It really is. Yeah.
All right, so that's your, again, I don't do criminal law. I do like the constitutional questions.
Yes.
When it comes to criminal law, because they really apply. They're applicable to everybody. Your First Amendment right to freedom of speech, your Fourth Amendment rights against search and seizure and things of that nature. Those are important. And so
they really are.
When I see something like this, we'll chat about it. That way,
Yeah. It's interesting.
This in law and in the appellate level, it's called a case of first impression, meaning no other appellate court case has heard this issue and decided
precedent yet.
And so what that does is, if you recall, since there's Fifth District is the only court to have heard this issue, it applies to the entire state of Florida. Once or if a different court of appeal, let's say the Second District here in Tampa, here's a similar case about a dog alerting and a search and a seizure, they can either follow the Fifth Circuit's reasoning and say, yeah, we agree, that's the right call, or they can disagree and say, no, that still gives probable cause.
So on that on that subject,
Split. That'd be a split.
a question would be, do they have to follow precedent? Is there pressure to follow precedent
One
versus?
court of appeal does not have to follow another court of appeals opinion.
Okay. I
So
didn't know
let
if
me
they had a
show you how
burden
this
of
works.
proof.
So now the counties in the 5th district, that's the law for them.
Right.
The counties in the 2nd district, Tampa, Polk, so forth, that's the law for them.
Right.
Now, guess what? The other 4 districts, they can go either way.
Right. So they can
Because
reference.
there's conflicting opinions. So what happens? Now, because they're in conflicting opinions and the law has to be the same throughout the state of Florida, the Supreme Court will have to decide who was right.
Okay. Interesting.
But if you're in the 1st, we don't have to follow the 2nd. We don't have to follow the 5th. We can decide what we want. The 3rd, the 4th, and the 6th, they can all do what they want.
And what did you say that was first impression?
Yeah, first impression. A case of first impression means we're the first appellate court to decide this issue.
Fascinating.
So, and it could immediately go to the Supreme Court. I doubt that it will. This individual could appeal, but he actually won. So he would try to appeal that because his motion was granted to suppress, that he should not have to do 68 months in prison, even though that was the law back when he was sentence. So I doubt he'll win that one.
So Barbara asks, if there is a strong smell of pot, can you be asked to take a test to see if you are driving under the influence?
No.
Okay.
In fact, that's an interesting question, Barbara.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
that's an investigation, right?
Well, if there was a DUI death, right?
Okay.
Let's say you're DUI and you kill someone, the officers could have a paramedic or a medical provider take your blood without your consent.
Oh.
Well, the United States Supreme Court said, no, thank you. You have to get a warrant from a judge. So, yeah, obviously, if you kill someone, they suspect you of DUI, and they're going to make the police officers get a warrant in that situation. You're certainly going to have to get a warrant to test someone for marijuana to see if they're under the influence. But I'll tell you, having tried a lot of cases, the problem with that is marijuana in the system does not mean you were under the influence at the time of your driving.
Yeah.
There's cases out there that just because you have cocaine in your system at a certain time doesn't mean you were under the influence of that drug. And so trying to prove that someone was under the influence just because they had a substance in their blood, very, very difficult.
Right. Yeah.
Because you could have burned a doobie last night watching Notre Dame beat Penn State. That doesn't mean when you get up this morning and drive to work, you're under the influence of marijuana.
Yeah.
Oh man, those are the problems with drugs. Alcohol, your body naturally will dissipate until there's nothing left in the bloodstream. You follow me? But not drugs.
Right. Last question.
Shoot.
If you're out of state, where the laws might be different, but you come here, you're under Florida law while here, correct?
Right. Correct.
Yeah. Can you be asked to be shipped back to your state and judged under your own law, or is that something?
No.
Yeah.
Example, here we have the right to carry guns.
Right.
Concealed weapons. Have them in your house. Have them in your car.
In
New York, 3 years minimum mandatory sentence if you have a gun without a permit. And that, which is disconcerting, because let's say you're going from Florida to Massachusetts.
You got to drive through.
You have your gun in your car. You better drive around New York.
Or mail it to yourself. I don't know.
You see what I'm saying? So you got to know if you're going somewhere, you have to know the laws of the state where you're going. Because I didn't know.
What states are separate but equal?
Oh yeah. I don't know that they're equal, but they're separate.
Right.
But all right, well, that's all I have for you today.
Cool. Good. That's a really good one.
Thank you. go ahead, I guess. It's 70 degrees, as hot as it's been all week. The Buccaneers played 8 o'clock Sunday night against the Washington Commanders in the opening rounds of the playoffs.
Now you said they needed to win last week.
They
Did
won.
they win?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, nice.
I was at
I
the
don't
game,
follow.
baby.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it good?
But the beauty is, well, not the beauty, but because Atlanta lost, even if we had lost,
both things happened.
yeah. So we were in
Nice.
Iowa, but you want to take care of business.
That's right. That's right.
So we're playing
Well,
the
good deal.
Washington Commanders, formerly the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
So go Bucks.
Yeah, man. All right.
All right.
Well, so that's your weekend. What you got on? I might have a tractor up here. We cut down 4 trees, and I've got to figure out how to get the ground back together. So
Yeah, no, you still, is that the hurricane you're still dealing with, or to prepare for the next one?
to prepare for the next one. These were rotted, and they were right next to the house, and so I
Yeah,
had to
I
have
hear
guys
you.
with cranes. So
Yeah, yeah. All right, brother,
protected.
take us
All right,
out.
man. You got it.
Everybody, have a nice, safe weekend, and go say thank you, Jesus, Sunday in church.
There you go. There you go.
Reed and Reed, it's like having a lawyer in the family.